I'm really interested in Bitcoin, and obviously I'd love to hear about your particular take on Bitcoin and what you actually do for the currency, the virtual currency, and tell me a bit about the business.
For sure. I founded and I was the CEO of TradeHill, which was the second largest Bitcoin exchange, and we were the first US-based Bitcoin exchange. And we would essentially trade Bitcoins for dollars, euros, and a few other currencies. We actually started in Chile, and then I moved to the United States. So we began with the Chilean peso as well, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So we started that June 8th of last year, and then we shut down several months ago, basically due to increasing regulations. And then one of our payment providers removed some money from our account, so I'm involved with a lawsuit with them right now, so I don't want to really go too specifically into that.
Sure. What moved you to get involved with Bitcoin? Like, what was the prompt, or the thing that really made you passionate about it?
Well, when I first read about it, which was a long time ago, and nobody really knew about it at that point, I saw the tech side of it, and I said, this is genius. This is the smartest thing I've ever read, and I said, there's no way this is going to work. It's too complicated, and it's perfect, but it'll never work because people won't understand it and people won't get behind it. And then I think I really underestimated the amount of nerds there are out there. And then you combine how much hatred there was with what was happening in the U.S. and global economy.
Oh yeah, and the need to disrupt what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was too perfect of an idea to even fathom that could exist.
Right.
It was just too good to be true.
Right.
And wow, the world will actually adopt this and take. We've seen it.
Yes.
So I really wasn't expecting it to succeed when I got into it.
Just want to make money.
I'm just kidding. No, I didn't think I was going to make. I haven't made any money. I've lost money on this. What are you talking about? You're making money. I'm losing money. So yeah, I really didn't think it was going to succeed at all. Okay. I thought it was a pipe dream, libertarian, angry nerd, outreach that's just not going to succeed because it's just too complicated. The goals are too lofty, and thankfully I was completely wrong on that. And I'll call it a success. I mean, people around the world are using it and talking about it.
Right.
I mean, I'd estimate maybe 1 million people have used it based on nodes.
It's a consistent, hundreds of thousands of people are using it.
And how much are you looking at as in currency exchanged per month or so?
Is it over 10 million?
Yeah. Wow, that's fast.
Wait, you're talking about the Bitcoin
as
a whole?
Bitcoin.
Oh, well more.
10 million Bitcoin, but we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars being traded. It's a huge.
So good.
And you can have one guy buying and selling $5, and then we have or $100, and then we have traders who are using us to trade $30,000-$40,000 a day just in currency conversion and playing the game of the market.
Great. So Charlie, what's your piece in the Bitcoin puzzle?
So we kind of act as the financial arm for the exchanges.
Okay.
I'm currently integrated with 6 of the exchanges, so we pretty much control 70% or so of the actual dollars that are going in and out of Bitcoin. In order to fund your exchange accounts, to start trading, or to withdraw money out of your exchange accounts, you would use BitInstant, my company, to actually, we handle the actual currency conversion. So you can walk up to any Chase, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. We're announcing 700,000 new locations in the U.S. I can't say which yet, but it's going to be huge.
Right.
Across Russia, Brazil, and be able to physically just go to our website, say I want to buy $100 worth of credit at TradeHill or 100 Bitcoins, and then fill out your account on the exchange. It'll pre-print a Chase deposit slip for you, and then you just walk over to the bank and hand them the slip and the money, and by the time you get home, 20 minutes or so, money's in your account.
Wow.
So we're trying to bridge that gap between fiat and currency, so no one can have an excuse to not buy Bitcoin.
And so, I'm interested, and I might be a bit behind in information, but I remember that there was one point when I was following it, which was a while back, where you weren't able just to go and buy Bitcoin. You actually had to be one of the beta testers or whatever, and so that's changed, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the beginning, my first time, the only way to get, the fastest way to get Bitcoin on an exchange was to use this certain payment processor that a lot of Bitcoin exchanges used and got screwed with, actually, including us. We lost some money with them, and it would take about a week because they need to verify your bank account and do all that stuff. And then the other way was to just find someone who's willing to sell you Bitcoins for something else. So it was like an over-the-counter exchange type of thing. So really difficult and not centralized and not really regulated, and it's very, you can't really have a currency like that. So.
And so your company, BitInstant, is the one that's actually facilitated this freer movement, is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Great,
You can get Bitcoins in 20 minutes or less, no matter if you live in Wisconsin.
Wow, that's so fabulous. And what moved you to get on board with this?
I just love the idea of a Bitcoin, or just something different, because I was finishing on my other startup that I had just sold to a company in Chicago, and was looking for something new. And I had my programmer on the other company, who's my partner and CTO now, who really is the brains behind BitInstant. Like you think I understand this technical stuff. This guy can come up with, Gareth Nelson can come up with statistical modeling and data analysis and literally predict market rates, like how the price is going to go up and down based on like our own trading history. And he's like a genius. So he came to me with the idea for BitInstant, and he's like, I really want to do this and everything. And I loved the idea of just, forget startups, forget starting up a new company. Let's start up a new economy.
Yeah.
Let's start up a new industry. Let's just do it. Let's be the pioneers.
So how exciting to be part of breaking that
ground.
Cool.
I made a good friend in the meantime and everything.
Yeah.
Free place to stay when I come to San Francisco.
And so tell me, is obviously there is the possibility of fraud, like with any currency. Yeah. Is that starting to get a little bit more watertight? Like, are you?
Well, I mean, there's not really any possibility of fraud like within Bitcoin. I mean, it's itself. Like, if I send you the Bitcoins, you're getting them.
Right.
So there's no fraud there.
Okay.
It's the fraud surrounding Bitcoin.
Okay.
Which is like checks. The fraud surrounding check. You write somebody a check, it's a bad check. Well, you can't do that with Bitcoin.
Right.
But you might say, I'll sell you my computer for Bitcoin. And then they ship the computer, you send the Bitcoins, and then you get the computer and you get a box with some phone books in it, or it's broken, So that's where the fraud comes in.
We're noticing though, most people who are doing those kind of, like when I sold my car for Bitcoin.
Yes.
Most people, well, it's actually still in sale, but whatever. We're using an escrow system, so he sends the money to the escrow account.
God.
And then when we both agree that the money should be released, or like there's like a team of people that assess the situation. So I mean. Same thing with any currency, because I can send someone dollars in the mail, and then they can not, send me a broken computer. But then you have companies like PayPal that kind of mitigate or be the in between for that, which PayPal does good jobs at.
The fraud that you see, it's the same type of fraud that plagues, Western Union, fake I shouldn't say fake cashier's checks, maybe real cashier's checks, and wire transfers, that thing, just because of the non-reversible nature of Bitcoin.
Got it. And so I'm really interested in the piece about venture capital, and I'm just wondering, how do the VCs see your industry, and have they got on board yet, and or angels? Are they seeing that there's fabulous disruptive potential? Because I do know that a lot of VCs would be a little bit conservative initially.
Yeah, I mean, I received some angel funding, which most of that went to.
VCs need to understand your business before they give you money, and not only do they not understand your business model, how you make money, even though it's very simple, they don't understand the concept of the people giving you dollars and you giving them virtual currency. To them, it sounds like a cheap scam.
Right.
So it was very, very difficult to approach the major capital or VC firms. Like, I would go there in my briefcase and say, like, hey, I trade Bitcoin. Like, and it was like, get out of here.
Yeah. You're just geeks, sort of thing.
Even though I'm showing them my bank statements and the amount of money that we're moving every day and the amount of money that we're actually making, but they were like, it can't last. It can never last. And it was very difficult at first, because it's a very capital-intensive business to run, whereas we need money in 13 different accounts across the world in 20 different currencies at all given times, and I'm always moving money around the world. I literally have to wake up at 4 in the morning to send a $100,000 wire transfer. So it's very capital-intensive, because the amount of volume that we're doing every day, I need to have 3 times that amount in our accounts.
Yes.
And trying to explain that to a VC was a little difficult. So I literally had to go on TV and go on this internet radio TV show. And he was interviewing me, and he's like, what's your biggest challenge? And I stood up and I'm like, to everyone who's watching, I need money or else I can't run the business in a week. I'm going to run out of money. And the next day I got a phone call.
Fabulous.
That's how I got
So what I'm hearing then is that really because this is such a new disruptive model and industry, that a lot of the investors are holding back and waiting to see what's going to happen, and they're not sort of jumping on board.
Not the case anymore. Familiar with Fred Wilson? He's one of the largest.
Yes,
VCs.
I've interviewed him. Yeah, he's a great guy.
He on his blog avc.com, he's just like, he wrote a blog post a couple of months ago. He's like, why is no one investing in Bitcoin?
Yes,
Right.
This is fantastic.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
And everyone, the biggest like argument at the time, because there's always arguments against Bitcoin, was that Bitcoin had a bubble. And he's just like, you guys are like, if you look at history, you're totally wrong. And it wasn't a bubble. It was like it was the Geintherism hyperbole. He explained it in economics, and he disproved that whole argument. So that was like threw out the window. And that like turned a lot of VCs onto it, I guess.
And so did he invest in your businesses? No, not
no.
yet?
Let's not get into that. I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
He invested in our enemy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
Your viewers can probably figure out who we're talking about, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother taught me that if you don't have anything nice to say,
Don't say it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Fair
that's what I'm
enough.
talking about.
Fair enough. Well, look, I just want to wish you both all the success in the world. I really am so behind the whole Bitcoin thing. I mean, I'm just an advanced in age geek, and was watching it right from the start. So
Cool.
yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
it's fabulous, and definitely there has to be change. And
Yeah.
I think Bitcoin's obviously going to lead that.
I should stop
stampede.
saying that it's the people's currency. Because
So why don't you say the world's currency?
the world, okay, that's better. Well, it
The
is the
world's
people's currency, but like
Sounds too communist.
communists, and they already accuse us of being communists.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I wanted to thank you again for your time, and it's been fabulous meeting you. Thank you.
Thank you.